Your butter might be the reason your cookies spread, your croissants flop, and your sauces split. Today, we're testing 10 popular butters to find the 5 that sabotage your recipes, and the 5 that deliver pro results every time. If you want crusts that flake, cookies that hold, and sauces that stay silky, stay with me. We'll break down fat content, moisture, salt, and sourcing in plain English, so you can swap one stick and fix your kitchen. One list, 10 brands, clear winners and clear skips. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. Target's good and gather. You bite a cookie and get salt first, butter second. That is the good and gather effect. Loud salt, waxy finish. The label looks clean, but the texture swings. Pie crusts bake up tight, sauces go flat, and that film lingers. Why does it coat your mouth instead of melting clean? An aggressive salt curve and just above minimum butter fat push gluten to tighten and mute dairy aromatics. Blind taste notes read the same: pasty, greasy, low aroma. In a pan, the emulsion breaks early because the salt hits fast while the fat feels thin. Federal rules set a floor for butter fat. Bumping moisture even a hair means spreadier cookies and a waxy spread. Swap it. Flavors snap back. Dough relaxes. Sauce holds. Now let's look at a budget stick that trades price for predictability. It looks perfect for a bake sale, until every cookie kisses the edges and fuses into one glossy sheet. At Walmart, that bargain block just cost you a pan. Here's why the swing happens. Flavor and sourcing shift. 1 week mellow, next week briny and flat. Undisclosed, rotating suppliers means small changes in moisture and fat that throw results. At the 80% butterfat floor, a 1 to 2% moisture bump spreads cookies and wrecks lamination by blasting steam at the wrong time. Buttercream, softer, slumps sooner at room temp. Blind tests flag aggressively salty and one-dimensional, which tracks with sodium used to mask weak dairy notes. The hidden tax is waste. Save it. Now for a surprise. Even an organic label can miss the mark. At Trader Joe's Organic Salted, you expect creamy and fragrant. You get oily and quiet, like the aroma missed its call. Organic should mean better cream, but the mouthfeel runs slick in sauté and sweets. The balance is off, so flavor fades while the texture clings. Here's what tracks with tests: salt levels and churn style that smear instead of melt, leaving a film. In cookies, the fat liquefies too fast and spreads wide. In pastry cream, the taste reads hollow. That's melt curve and fat crystals not lining up, so you lose structure and scent. If your shortbread feels thin and your tarts look greasy, it's not you. It's the stick. Choose a butter that melts clean and smells like cream. Now let's move on to a grass-fed label that does not deliver the depth you expect. You find grass-fed promises a deeper, meadowy taste at Lucerne grass-fed. This one reads like plain dairy with a quiet finish. You pay for richness and nuance, but pie crusts bake with little aroma and pan sauces land thin. Where's the grass-fed character? True grass-fed shows nuttier, floral notes, a firmer feel from higher butterfat, and a natural golden hue from beta-carotene. When those markers are missing, pastries lose lift and flavor layers. Reports call this brand shallow on taste, and that muted profile means you use more just to notice it, which burns budget fast. If your tarts smell blank and your sauté splatters more than planned, you are not imagining it. Pick a grass-fed stick that tastes like it. Next, a store brand where salt shouts over cream. Whole Foods 365 salt boosts flavor until it steamrolls it. That is the 365 salted problem. You buy the premium halo, but the butter reads salty first, creamy last. Cookies taste harsh. Crumbs tighten. Sauces feel seasoned yet oddly bland. Here's why. Higher salt toughens dough by tightening gluten, and it buries delicate dairy notes. In brown butter, the nutty toastiness gets smothered. In buttercream, the finish skews briny instead of rich. Tasting panels flag a salt-forward profile with minimal cream character, and that lines up with baking science. Salt also dulls perceived sweetness. If your desserts taste seasoned, not buttery, this is likely the culprit. Switch to a balanced salted, or go unsalted and control the salt. Now let's pivot to the butters that pull their weight in any kitchen. Want instant flavor and reliable bakes without boutique prices? Kerrygold is the easy win. Here's the truth. Mid-tier sticks promise richness, but few stay steady on color, aroma, and performance month to month. Grass-fed cream brings a natural golden hue from beta-carotene, and a touch higher butterfat gives you flaky pastry and stable sautés. Cookies hold shape instead of puddling. Mashed potatoes taste round and dairy-rich without a salt blast. Taste tests keep ranking it near the top, and you can actually find it on regular shelves. Sweet or savory, it stays balanced, not shouty. For most home cooks, this is the safest switch. Better flavor, cleaner melt, steady results. If you want even richer creaminess, there is a step up. If you want icing that holds shape and pastry that shatters, fat percentage matters. Standard sticks sit at the legal floor. Vital Farms turns up the butterfat and the results show. At about 85% butterfat, you get lower moisture, a cleaner melt, and stronger structure. Croissants spring taller with crisp layers. Buttercreams stand longer on a warm table without weeping. Sauces mount with a glossy sheen and resist breaking. Higher fat reduces rogue steam that blows out layers, and it supports stable emulsions. Tasting notes land on cream-forward flavor with salt that stays in the background. If your bakes sag or your frostings slip, this upgrade often fixes it in one move. And if you want a chef's secret with old-world pedigree, keep going. You don't need this every day, but when you want a showpiece bake, Le Poncelet is the quiet flex. The price is steep, so the question is simple: hype or real gains on the plate? Traditional, low-temp churning and cultured cream build layers of flavor and a controlled melt. In puff pastry and kouign-amann, you get steady lift, clean snap, and a long finish. On bread, it spreads silk smooth without the greasy slip. Chef Buzz centers on method, cultured depth, slow churn for fine crystal structure, and tight water control that keeps texture precise. Access is limited, which tracks with ultra-premium, small-batch production. For special projects or bread-and-butter moments, it delivers. Prefer pro-grade at a friendlier price? There's a classic next. Want bakery-level flaky layers without chasing imports? Plugra is the practical pro choice. Many sticks claim European style. Few back it up with low moisture and steady results. Plugra does. At European-style fat levels, it keeps splatter down in sauté and gives laminated doughs clean, glassy sheets that rise straight. Pie crust comes out tender with crisp flakes. Cookies keep a tight silhouette and a rich, buttery crumb. Culinary schools and bakeries use it for a reason. Lower moisture cuts random steam bursts that blow out layers. That control is what turns folds into lift, not puff into slump. The truth is, if you bake often, this is the reliable gear you keep on hand. Want a classic French profile that brightens sweet and savory? One more. Soft spread, clean taste, still holds shape on the board. That's the President profile. Some soft butters slide into oily or bland. This stays silky without the greasy slip, and the flavor is bright, not loud. You get dairy notes that read fresh, then fade clean instead of hanging heavy. Here's what supports it. Slow churn and good cream build a fine crystal structure, so it melts evenly and mounts into sauces without breaking. Shortbread comes out fragrant without oversalting. Toast tastes like, well, real butter. It lands near the top in blind tastings and carries a reputation for steady texture. Controlled churning temps help lock in aromatics. If you want a crowd pleaser from beurre blanc to brownies, say yes. Time to wrap with a quick checklist. Here's the real kicker. Butter is either a silent partner or an invisible saboteur. Choose fat and flavor, not salt and water. Your dough loosens. Your layers lift. Your sauces stay glossy instead of greasy. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone whose cookies keep spreading. One swap can save a tray, a sauce, and your sanity. Build your cart like a pro. Skip the 5 salt-forward, oily, or thin sticks. Reach for the 5 that hold shape, lift layers, and keep sauces smooth. Make the switch now, and your next bake speaks for itself.